Feels good getting back to work. How y'all gentlemen doing today?
Good, chilling.
It really do feel good. Last week, I emptied out everything we had in the chamber, so everything's fresh, including this episode of 12 Innings. This is an official podcast. We're finishing up our list, which we started on the last one. By the way, y'all go check that out. Go subscribe to the channel, man. I've been getting a lot of feedback from just running into people telling me stuff about it. Don't just tell me about it. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. You feel me?
Comment down there. Let us know in the comments. We can respond to you in the video.
Precisely.
We got
Um, Go ahead.
you. I was just saying, we got you, man. Shoot, hey, one day we will do a live. We can do a Q&A. We answer all your questions that you want. We got
Facts. NFL season right around the corner. You know,
you.
Olympic gold medal game just got over with. Got some stuff coming up, man. But to get back on topic, last episode we did from 100 to 80. This video will be about 79 through 60 for the NFL top 100 list and our thoughts on it. So we're going to start it off with Byron. How do you feel about Mr. number 79, Minka Fitzpatrick for the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Yeah, shout out to that boy David, man. This is King Pittsburgh. But Minka, hey, he's a pro's pro. Been in the league now. He's a vet in the game. Last season, he only played a good amount of games because he got a little bit of injury. Missed 7 games, but the season prior to that had a wonderful season in year 2022 to 2023 season. Um, just a beast all over the field, one of the best free safeties in the game, and anybody would be lucky to have him on the team. And he flies from sideline to sideline, always has the hat on the ball, and he's a ball hawk. It's gonna be great for the Steelers as long as they can keep everything rolling with their new offensive QB.
So how you feel, Khalil?
For sure. On this list, it shows he dropped 61 spots. Two things with that. Like Byron said, he had that injury-riddled season, so we couldn't really see much of his game. We all know he's an elite safety in the game, one of the best ball hawking safeties. Um, even in his 4 Pro Bowl seasons, he's always been up there as one of the best safeties in the league. Um, but with him still being on this list with the little sample size from last season just shows how good and how highly the NFL thinks of him that he's still on this list. Um, and like I said, his IQ is elite, ball hawking elite. He just has a knack to be wherever he needs to be on the field. He's not just, a safety that can play coverage. He'll get down there and bang. Um, so yeah, I can definitely see why he's still on this list.
I think Minka for me was one of those first safeties that not one of the first, but definitely one of the new age defensive backs that could do it all, whether that's get out the pass, coverage, helping against the run, and all aspects of that. He was probably, I'm a Florida State guy, so I'm gonna say Derwin, but he was probably truthfully the best in all aspects of those three qualities, especially on that Steelers defense when they got tons of other Pro Bowlers like T.J. Watt, Alex Highsmith, Cameron Hayward, somebody we talked about last episode, and a few other guys on that list. He was arguably the best on there. Again, he dropped a lot on this list. Steelers fan, get in the comment, let us know about that. I still consider him probably a top 25 player in the entire National Football League. I expect him to rise up that list this year back to where I think his talent and experience dictates. And there it goes for Mika Fitzpatrick. Brian, your audio sound a little bit muffled a little bit.
A little bit muscle. How about now? Sound a little better?
Yeah, sound a little bit better now.
Okay.
Next, we had Kyron Williams, running back for the Los Angeles Rams. What do you think about him, Brian?
I didn't watch much of him out of college. His rookie season, but he seems like he hopped into the pros and just took off running, literally as a good running back. He played 10 games. Um, got about 1,000+ yards rushing, dual threat. It looks like he can catch a little bit. About 32 receptions. And this man had 12 touchdowns on the year for his rookie season. That's a wonderful, wonderful start for a running back. Coming into a great team as the Los Angeles Rams are. As long as he can keep that production going, he has a bright future. I mean, breaking records already. It's crazy.
Um, Kyron Williams, not gonna lie, didn't really know too much about him till this season. When he broke out after taking over that running back one position. But like Byron said, 1,100 rushing yards, 12 touchdowns. Doing that all in 12 games. Just shows the skill and everything that he has. Especially, we know the Rams O line isn't all that great. So he is one of the bright spots of the Rams. He had Pro Bowl honors this year. And he did pretty much, what was it? He was the first Rams running back to eclipse 1,000 rushing yards since Todd Gurley in 2018.
Yeah, he has some pretty decent. Damn, AC. Got a touchdown. That's crazy.
Great. Kyron Williams. The thing that's crazy about the running back position is it's hard to see them boys winning because growing up, everybody wanted to play running back. You get the ball, you got your jukes, stiff arms. Everybody wanted to play. If you was from the hood, you wanted to play running back. But the reason I say they can't win is it's because of the value in their contract structure. Kyle Williams, he comes in, explodes on the scene. It's seemingly a good thing on the surface. But on the back end of it, looking at it from a business perspective, when you have seemingly players coming in every year and they could have a fantastic rookie season, it makes sense from the business perspective not to pay the older established running backs even more because you can get a brand new one every single year in the draft. So for me, this is going to be another example of another point for the general managers about why we're not going to pay these exuberant amounts for the older running backs. Strictly on Kyron Williams, fantastic season with the Rams. Sean McVay, probably the best offensive line, well, behind Andy Reid, but probably top 3 offensive line in the entire NFL. I know he's going to get his backs involved, like Byron mentioned, Cam Akers. Ran my Florida State guy out of town for real. But he's a great dual threat running back. Him and Puka had fantastic rookie seasons, and I'm excited
Yeah.
to see what he does this year. Now that defenses know more about him, he's definitely higher on the scouting report. Next, Trey Hendrickson. I'll start off here. He's in my all-white boy team. For years, I think he was an underrated player. He was dominant on Madden, especially at that defensive end position. He's like I don't want to be I'm not going to disrespect the man, but I say he's, to me, like a notch below someone like Max Crosby, and that's a huge compliment because Max Crosby is awesome. He's probably going to be way up this list. But Trey Hendrickson, great against the run, really improved against the pass this year on that Cincinnati Bengals defense, and I expect a big year from him. Byron, how you feel about Trey Hendrickson?
Nightmare, man. He's a nightmare to face if you ain't on your team on Madden or, what I'm saying, in real life. He comes off the edge with just power and aggressiveness. 17.5 sacks, 12 great amount of tackles. This dude just has a motor that's unlike any other. Like Bob said, man, he definitely be on that all white boy team for sure. And them boys are dogs over there. And hopefully with some good in this season. I mean, he dropped 2 spots in this year, but hopefully he gets it back up, with their team going in the right direction.
Like you guys said, him and Joe Burrow, on that all-white team. But
Okay.
what can we say, or what can I say that you guys haven't really already said? Coming off a career year, he really rounded out his passing game as it showed this season. Even if he's not getting the sacks, he's disrupting the quarterback, kind of disrupting plays, kind of just setting the tone for that defense with the Bengals, who at times kind of lacked identity, I feel like. So he stepped up in a big way for them. He's that centerpiece. I think he's coming off, his third consecutive Pro Bowl or something like that. Just putting himself, like you said, a notch under those elites, edge rushers.
Sure. I think it can be argued he's in that category. Honestly, with 17.5 sacks, that's a little bit over a sack per game. Um, Again, dominant against the run. I mean, he's on the NFL top 100, so out of
Yeah.
respect, I think I'm gonna probably start putting him in that elite category, up there with guys like Crosby, Aiden Hutchinson, two other all white team players, and and hopefully Braden Fitz join that this year. But that's bias right there. Um, we got Dre Greenlaw, linebacker for the 49ers, who unfortunately we saw injure himself running out there in the Super Bowl, trying to get back on the field, ready to continue the charge for his team. We'll start with you, Khalil. How you feel about Drake Greenlaw on this list?
Jerry Greenlaw, coming off a 120 tackle season. Just an absolute monster at getting to the ball, real field general. Pairing him with Fred Warner, top three linebacker duo in the league. I definitely wouldn't want to face him. Like you said, he can play in pass coverage, but he's best at shooting gaps, trying to get to the quarterback. Definitely stuffing the run. So I can definitely see why he's on the list. He improved a couple spots. Coming off the Achilles injury, we'll see how he kind of plays. There's always that kind of period where he's still trying to figure out and learn what he can do. Probably not play to his full extent, but definitely a monster. Definitely a big piece of the 49ers.
That's definitely, yeah, like Chris said, the beast on the field. He's a very young guy. So I expect, with proper NFL and medical staff, he gets back into a flow of things, and the health and training of his therapy went well. And get back on that field and continue to dominate. He's one of my favorite linebackers that just came into the league very recently here, and he just flies all over the field. And like Cliff said, great pairing him with Fred Warner, who is a ball hawk at middle. God bless him. Got a ball hawk in middle linebacker. So if he can get him to learn any of that kind of, you know, skill from Fred Warner, who is a beast in the game, it's gonna make him even better at what he does. Like he can already fly across the field and disrupt passes and get hits. But when he actually fine tunes those skills with a wonderful veteran like um, Fred Warner, he's just gonna be even more of a nightmare, man. Moving up 3 spots on this list, and hopefully that Achilles injury didn't slow you down too much, man.
Sure. Dre Greenlaw, incredibly athletic linebacker, like y'all mentioned. Fantastic pair with Fred Warner. Reminds you of the legendary 49ers linebacker duo, Patrick Willis and Navarro Bowman, Hall of
Yeah,
Famer Patrick Willis and future Hall of Famer Navarro Bowman. But the inverse, those guys were great they were fantastic against the run and good against the pass. These guys are excellent against the pass and still great against the run. So they're the perfect picturesque duo of the modern NFL linebacker today. But strictly to Greenlaw, he's coming back off of obviously the Achilles injury. That takes a little while to come back. I have to look it up. I'll get back to you guys if he's on the PUP, the physically unable to perform list. But his injury was just in February. It's going to take him a little while maybe even this season to, shake that rust off, start trusting his body again. And hopefully he's back to 100%. So the 49ers, as we all expect them, well, let me not speak for everybody. I expect them to make a deep playoff run again, potentially to another chance at the Super Bowl. So next player we got coming up here at number 75 is Justin Herbert, quarterback for the Los Angeles Chargers. Khalil, how you feel about Herbert?
Justin Herbert. Oh shoot. That's Byron's guy. I feel like he has all the intangibles to be up there with the elite quarterbacks in this league, kind of competing in that top 5, top 10 quarterback rankings right there. I just haven't really think we've seen him reach his full potential yet. But hopefully with Jim Harbaugh there, or John Harbaugh, my bad, they can kind of figure it out, get him what he needs to do. I know he has a new receiving core, probably going to take some getting accustomed to. Like I said, he has all the intangibles to be high-level, elite, competitive quarterback in this league.
I think you was right in saying Jim Harbaugh.
No, it's John.
It's John?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
All right, cool. How you feel about Justin Herbert, my guy?
I mean, Khalil can attest to this. I've been high on him since Oregon. I would say I called it, man. I know he's gonna be a great quarterback coming out. I mean, obviously it's been a little rocky. He's a couple of years after his rookie season, but that's attributed to the organization and a little bit to him, I would say. But I would say more on the organization side. But Justin Herbert is an elite talent in this game. He's gotten paid. And I feel like, I mean, with over, 3,000 yards passing, wonderful amount of touchdowns, he keeps his picks to touchdown ratio and always in a good range. um, I mean, I just wish nothing but the best for him with John Harbaugh. Hopefully, he's a quarterback guru. He can turn this man into something next level here. I mean, he took Colin Kaepernick and turned him into an elite quarterback. I mean, now this guy can actually throw the ball a lot better than, Colin Kaepernick in that thing. And I can only imagine what he's going to do with him.
The only holdup I have, because I obviously it's been their coaching. They've been through a few coaches. The only thing I think to hold them back is potentially their receiving core. Their best receiver potentially is a rookie, Lad McConkey. Great route runner, great acceleration, decent athlete, but more on the route running side. I think they need somebody who's a true number one to help them, especially because their identity is going to change a little bit too. They're going to become more physical, going to run the ball more. They lost Austin Eckler. They did pick up, I believe, Gus Edwards from the Ravens. So they're going to be physical. I expect the play action game to be very prevalent this year. It's going to look a lot like Michigan, like the 49ers. Like he's going to look like J.J. McCarthy last year, but obviously he's about to get disrespectful and call him infinitely more talented. But, Justin Herbert obviously, well, not obviously, but arguably has one of the best arms in the game. If not, in my opinion, a top 4 arm in the game right now. So I expect a decent year for him. I just think it's going to be that second, third year jump when they get some better receiving talent in that room, more speed, and more experience that we're going to see. But I do think I love what they're doing with the offensive line, picking up Joe Alt, Rashawn Slater is there, and a couple more pieces. It was a second-round guard they picked up from Boston College who's still there. I can't remember his name right now, but he came out. He was great. So they've really put a lot in the past few years into improving that offensive line. And, again, I think he's going to have a good year, but I think that getting back to what we expect out of him is going to be more next year and the season after that, to where he's going to ascend back to being a top 5 NFL quarterback. Next, Jesse Bates, safety for the Falcons.
You want me to go?
Yeah, you go ahead, Clay.
Okay. Well, Chris Brown, the one song "Grass Ain't Greener." This case is different. He went to the Falcons last year, had a monster season, best season of his career, earned his first Pro Bowl in his 6 seasons. I think it was 130 plus tackles, 6 interceptions. Just playing that monster year or having that monster year for the Falcons defense, was a big bright spot for them. Showed the elite level that he can play at. And I expect big things to come as the Falcons have improved on both sides of the ball. So,
Yeah, most definitely. Like Khalil said, Jesse Bates is an elite safety in this game, coming over from Bengals, playing pretty fairly decent there. I wouldn't say above. I would say above average there. Being a great voice in their locker room. Now coming over to a younger defense where you're looked at as the veteran, the voice, and also having another young guy over there in AJ Terrell being an elite cornerback kind of helps you out a little bit as well. You guys, taking up that second level, second and third level, and just keeping guys on their toes. I mean, and you can come down and to be very physical and have 3 forced fumbles on the year is ridiculous. Hard hitting safety. I look at you more as a ball hawk. You can really the ball just seems to find you in the right places. You always have your hat in the right places. Move pretty well. Jesse Bates, just continue to I can see you growing and getting be one of these elite great safeties of all time in the game.
Flat out, I think Jesse Bates is the best coverage safety in the NFL. Um, Came over again, like Khalil said, from the Bengals. Fantastic year. He's only growing in the scheme this year, especially with Raheem Morris, who got hired as the head coach, being a defensive guy. Um, by the way, I love when teams hire defense. I don't know if I love this hire, but I love when teams hire defensive coaches because then you can have the OC be like officially the head coach of the offense. I wish the Jets would have did that. I digress. But Jesse Bates, awesome player. Um, like Byron said, was effective against the run in the pass. I just personally think he's the best coverage safety in the National Football League. He's a great tandem with AJ Terrell. They got some young talent in that secondary. He's a veteran in the league at this point, and I want to see what he does. And I'm glad he ended up getting paid because you got guys that's at the safety position. People getting cut, people taking minimum deals. A player of the likes of Justin Simmons, who's an awesome player. I expect him to be on this list way up here. That's not even on a team that shows you the disvalue of the safety position in general. So shout out to Jesse Bates. We're gonna be watching you this year, and we might have some content coming, maybe about player rankings and things of that nature. Y'all stay tuned to the channel. So after Jesse Bates, we have Jeffrey Simmons, D tackle for the Tennessee Titans. How you feel about that, Byron?
Uh, a dominant D tackle, man, coming from, I'm sorry, from Seattle. Um, Still a good defensive line over there, moving over to Tennessee. Really effective on the run game. Stop the whole offensive line when they're getting ready to try to get up for the run. 10 tackles for losses, 5.5 sacks. He's just a wonderful piece that they're looking to try to move in a different direction. The Tennessee Titans haven't really been prominent for a little while now, so they're trying to change their identity, get a lot better on the defensive end, bringing a lot of new guys in now on the offensive end. But Jeffrey Simmons is one of those guys that they acquired that, a Pro Bowler. So a great run stopper in the middle.
You might be slightly confusing it with somebody else.
Yeah,
Wow.
Jeffrey Simmons has been
Jefferson.
Yeah, Jeffrey Simmons has been on the Titans his whole career. So you might be
He was on Seattle.
Jeffrey Simmons.
Yeah, the D tackle.
Jeffrey Simmons. I know he's been on the Titans for the past at least like 3 seasons.
Oh, well, I guess when he was younger, he was on Seattle. Unless I'm tripping, I see it
Nah,
in this photo here.
it's he's had
A
his
couple
career
of
with the
seasons.
Titans. I'm looking at
Yeah.
it.
But hey, this is real time. We live. But
Oh yeah, nah. You right.
I
Oh,
loved
they're
him
good.
coming out of
Wow.
Mississippi State as a dominant. I knew he'd be dominant against the run. He's really upped this game, and therefore, as we see, he just signed a huge monster contract, up his value with collapse in the pocket. He's great on both in both aspects. As far as I know, a great leader in the locker room. They got a lot of young talent on that Titans defensive line. I really think the Titans have a chance to have a breakout year. If I had to pick a breakout team, they'd definitely be in heavy consideration. Just got to see what Will Levis does at quarterback. I expect that defense to come through and to essentially carry the team. They're going through, I'm not going to say identity crisis, but they did lose Derrick Henry, the best running back of his generation. And so obviously that's going to take a little adjustment to it, but I think he's given those young, promising offensive linemen that the Titans have. He's giving them work, and he's only going to make them better because iron sharpens iron. But I really like Jeffrey Simmons, and I think talent-wise, he's up there closer to the top 30 in the league. Your impact is sort of put in a certain type of ceiling. We seen some burst through it, like obviously the recently retired Hall of Famer Aaron Donald, and I think he's right there. He could be him, Quinn, and a couple other guys up there for top D tackle in the league at this point.
For sure. One of the top interior defensive linemen in the league, regardless of the knee issues he had last year. Just the ultimate disruptor in the passing game, the running game. You can tell the defense goes as he goes, kind of when he's in there disrupting the quarterback, disrupting pass plays. Defense just plays well, better off of it. He has a chance with the defense that the Titans have picked up with the free agents and everything this year to really propel their defense into a good to having a great season. So like Brock said, I can definitely see them kind of if everything's clicking and they figure out it on the offensive end, I can see them kind of trying to make a playoff push.
Sure. Rounding that, we're at number 72. I am surprised by this, but it goes to show the talent level of this guy. One of the most talented receivers in the league. Obviously, dealt with adverse quarterback situations. You got Gary Wilson first. Another Jet guy. Byron, how you feel about Gary Wilson right here?
First off, I want to ask, since you said you were surprised that he's on the list, or you surprised that he's this low on the list?
It's because of the quarterback play, and due to that, his stats aren't up there with the elite receivers. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
surprised, based upon statistics, that he's generally on the list. To be honest,
Gotcha. I just wanted to ask because I'm surprised in a different way. Because I'm surprised he's not higher on this list
that
due
would make
to
sense. Yeah.
those same, allegations, man. Well, not
He will
allegations.
be.
Questions.
He
Yes,
will be.
most definitely.
He
Next
will be.
season, way higher up on this list. Um,
Yeah.
uh, Going into his third year into the league. Last year was his sophomore year. Normally, a lot of rookies come and get a sophomore slump. Not happening with him, man. Still having over 95 receptions, 1,000 plus yards. And this is with 3 to 4 quarterbacks, different quarterbacks. I mean, with me at quarterback, if you want to say it. Still putting up yards. Wonderful, wonderful receiver. One of the elite route runners of the game. He's up there with the likes of my dog, a veteran in the game, Devontae Adams. I just see it in his feet work. I see it in his separation. He just creates separation when you don't even see it coming. He's boom. He's this way with the corners the other way. Ball in hand. And he's like I said, doing this with subpar quarterbacks, man. Guys that are not even third on the depth chart. Now coming back with A Rod, wonderful elite talent thrower of the ball, highest, best thrower of the ball since Dan Marino in the '80s, man. Garrett Wilson, keep getting better, brother. This is our third year. I'm looking for at least 1,500 yards, bro. At least 1,500 yards.
Yeah, Garrett Wilson has shown that he is elite. Especially given the QB situation last year, where I think they went through like 3 different quarterbacks, so he never really got the chemistry going with all 3 of those with any of those quarterbacks. Now, um, hopefully he gets that full year with one of the greatest quarterbacks to play the game. Accurate quarterback, great arm. Garrett Wilson, just no matter what route he's running, he can get open on any route. He can make catches in traffic. And the best part about him is he gets the yards after the catch. So I think it was like 30% of his catches, or out of the 1,000 yards he caught, 30% of those had yards after catch. So not only is he making plays to get open, but he's making plays after the actual catch. And he didn't have a sophomore slump. They just picked up Mike Williams. I don't see teams really being able to kind of double team him, which is just going to kind of leave him open to feast.
I love that Byron put a number on it, 1,500 yards. I don't think that's ambitious at all. He's gonna have to work for that, but I don't think that's ambitious at all. I actually like that number.
Yeah.
Great, great. It's gonna sound strange to me. I don't know. Maybe it's the immaturity, but Yak King. You know what I'm saying? He fantastic wide receiver, obviously #1 for the New York Jets, like Khalil mentioned. Mike Williams, he's going to be that jump ball guy. We hope that he's going to be at least good for us, better than Alan Lazard in the intermediate levels of the field. Garrett Wilson should be strong on each level of the field, a deep, intermediate, short. Got a great quarterback in Aaron throwing him the ball. I expect a huge season from Garrett Wilson as well. I expect him to ascend into the top 5 wide receivers in the league. I think he has that type of talent. And I want to see if as a Jet fan, how we utilize him this year as far as moving him around. Played him in the slot a little less than I would like. I want to see more of him in the slot. He can do it on the outside as well. We did pick up Malachi Corley, who I think is going to play in the slot a lot, picking him up in the 3rd round. But I want to see how they match and intermingle those receivers to get him favorable matchups that he can exploit, especially over the middle of the field again. So Garrett Wilson, you're not on the clock, but we want to see what you do this year, and just praying for the health of Aaron Rodgers, that he stay healthy this year. And like I'm gonna say with all Jets, hopefully we jet up this year.
I need 120 balls, 1,500 yards.
How many TDs?
12.
Woo! Okay. All right.
12.
All right. So Laramie Tunsil, old tackle from the Texans. I just want to say real quick, Laramie Tunsil, I could never get it out of my head, bro. I will never get out of the head the gas mask. I will never get that out of my brain, bro. You real fight for that, because that was so real. You done got the bag after that, but that'll always be the image. Even if you're a great tackle, I'll just go first and I'm talking. You're a great tackle for the Texans, a great blindside protector for C.J. Stroud. Even when even when Freak Man was still Deshaun Watson. I don't know if the allegations are real, but even when Freak Man was there, you was a great tackle. I love what you're doing as far as the offensive line. You're a leader, one of the best tackles in the NFL, especially at getting the run, dominant against the run, dominant against the pass. But for me, I will just never forget that video. So shout out Laramie Tunsil.
My boy Bane.
You go ahead, Khalil.
Struggled with some injuries last year. Still played at an elite level. One of the best outside tackles in the league. With the Texans propelling the way they did last year, they were talking about a lot of the younger guys and everything. He deserves a lot of credit too. One of the veterans on that team, kind of setting the tone for the O-line, and just protecting his quarterback. Which a protected quarterback leads to improved quarterback play. We see what C.J. Stroud did last year. I expect it only to get better for the Texans as they are an elite or becoming an elite team on the rise, especially under Ryan. Great defensive-minded coach. Like I said, with him being a defensive-minded coach, it pays to have a good O-line, and Laramie Tunsil is the leader of that O-line.
No, man, most definitely, like you said, it's wonderful. It's wonderful when you're a quarterback and you have wonderful protection and great protection as Thompson. And you contribute that offensive, quarterback rookie of the year, to a wonderful O line and like guys like him, no holding, hold up, always catch you on the blitz. Making sure you're protecting your guy at all times and making sure those blind sides are well endowed and not, have to second guess yourself like Justin Fields had to do out in Chicago every 5 seconds getting hit. So to have a wonderful offensive lineman like himself, veteran in this game, hey, gas mask it up, big dog.
So the gas mask is crazy, though. Whoever sent that video, you was tripping. You was wrong for that.
They diabolical.
Yeah. So moving into 70 right here, we got Amari Cooper, wide receiver for the Browns. Byron, how you feel about Amari Cooper?
Oh man. Due to my slight hate of the Dallas Cowboys, I didn't like him while he was there. But as soon as that boy got up out of there, one of my favorite receivers. I love Amari Cooper. He's a pro's pro. You know what I'm saying? You really don't hear too much about this gentleman, but he comes in, he does his job. He's gonna get you 1,100 plus reception yards. You know what I'm saying? Big body in the end zone and in the red zone. He's gonna get you a good amount of targets. He's a reliable receiver. You can't go wrong with him, man. Hopefully he can be pushed into a lot of the topics this year, man. If the, like like brother said, freak man, Deshaun Watson can get his act together and come back to being an elite quarterback in this game. I'm rooting for you, bro. I don't know about the allegations, but I'm rooting for you. I want to see, what I'm saying, a once elite black man quarterback in this game do good again. I don't know what happened. I think it's all a mental thing. Like our boy Mark Franchise, I think it was all a mental thing and kind of break his career down. I think you just need to get out of that. And using Amari Cooper is a wonderful a weapon to have, man. Having 5 different starting quarterbacks over the season and still getting 1,200 plus yards, elite, elite, and a quarterback coming off the couch.
Amari Cooper, all reliable. I know when people think of the best route runners in the game, Devontae Adams probably the first thing that comes to mind. This guy's footwork is elite. His hands are elite. And it just seems like he doesn't fall off. and it doesn't seem like he gets enough credit for what he does. Especially like Byron said, 5 quarterbacks last year, and you still managed to be consistent enough to put up over 1,000 yards. He's just elite of the elite. Even with older age, doesn't seem to be falling off yet. And I feel like he deserves a lot more respect than he gets, as he is probably if not the best route runner, second in route running. Arguably, he has a case to be the first best route runner in my opinion. And he just opens up so much for that Browns offense. It's not often that you have a wide receiver that can be a security blanket for you. And I feel like that's what Deshaun Watson needs to kind of get back into his game. So I feel like it's just good for the Browns offense all around.
Big body.
Sure.
He's real.
Definitely. Just like Khalil was saying, one of the top route runners in the league, still one of the top route runners in the league, been dominant and consistently dominant since he entered the NFL. Dude's been in the league down there since I've been watching like football, and he's still incredibly dominant coming from that Bama pipeline. I think we could definitely say at this point. But I think he's gonna have a solid year. Like Byron saying, I expect Deshaun Watson to shake back this year. They hired a new offensive coordinator, so I want to see what he does with that. Showed well with Joe Flacco last year for the Cleveland Browns. Nick Chubb, he has to get healthy, and that's their offensive identity going with that incredible offensive line and dominating, punishing ground game. And Amari opens up everything with that, with him coming off play action. You can always expect him to be open. In boxing sense, I would say he's so consistent. He remind me, again, in the boxing sense, of like somebody like Devin Haney. Get that last image out of your head. But pre that fight, you know what I'm saying? He reminds me of Devin Haney. He's so consistent in his craft. He knows what he's doing against each corner that he goes against. He knows how to get open. He knows how to score touchdowns. And the only thing hindrance with Amari Cooper has really been health. He's faced some injuries over the years. He is getting a little long in the tooth at this point. He just got, well, I wouldn't say he got, but we know the Brandon Ayuk just nullified a trade to the Browns that would have put Amari Cooper to the 49ers, which I think would have been an awesome opportunity for him to win. I was about to say a national championship. We were playing NCAA, but to win the Super Bowl, I think that would have been a great opportunity for Amari Cooper. But he's still with the Browns, and the Browns are the Browns, but they ain't the Browns. They give them a chance to go into the playoffs and have some level of success. So shout out to Amari Cooper. The next person on the list we're going to get to is another wide receiver that's getting long in the tooth but still effective, Cooper Kupp. Khalil, how you feel about old Cooper?
Not sure traditional wide receiver that you see nowadays coming into the league. He is on the older side. Dealt with a lot of dealt with injuries last year, kind of hindered him from being able to play 100% healthy. I believe he played, how many games was it? 12 games. In the 12 games, he had 59 catches, 737 yards. But with him being injured came the emergence of Puka Nacua. And I'm only saying that because coming back to start the season, we know what Cooper Kupp did a couple years ago with the Triple Crown at the wide receiver position. Another elite route runner. Another guy that can just get yards after the catch. With him and Puka Nacua both playing at their high elite levels, they have a chance to be one of the top wide receiver duos in the league, honestly. And I honestly see him maybe not getting back to the Triple Crown form, but definitely the elite level of play to where it's just going to be double trouble on both sides of the ball when it comes to trying to guard the Rams receivers.
Aaron Williams, too, as a pass catching option.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he is a dual threat, yeah.
Yeah, thanks, man. Cooper Kupp. Let's start off by saying Super Bowl champion, winning Cooper Kupp, Triple Crown winner Cooper Kupp. He's elite. Yes, the injuries, hamstring, ankle injuries hindered him last year. But like Khalil said, with the emergence of Puka Nakua coming out in that elite tight end role, it's going to open up even more for the older gentlemen. Coming in at 31, he's, he's 1 year older than me. Coming in at 31, still being able to try to be elite. Uh, Great hands, run after the catch guy. Just be able to stay um, as as good as he did the previous years before. The Rams aren't. I don't think they're a contender, but he can definitely keep fans and that fan base excited. Him and Puka, and just keep being great.
Another member of the all-white team for me, Cooper Cup, fantastic route runner. I don't know if he's going to get back to the level of Triple Crown again, Super Bowl MVP, but I want him. I think that offense is by committee, but it's an elite level committee at this point. Again, a top offensive line in Sean McVay. Cooper is going to be great intermediate routes, great underneath. Where they got Puka running deep, and they got Kyron as a mismatch option out of the backfield. I actually expect a lot for the Rams. Like I mentioned, the Titans as a sleeper team. The Rams are another one of my sleeper teams. I love their additions along that defensive line. You know why. They added two of them guys, and I expect big years for them. But also with Cooper getting healthy and Matt Stafford in a more better place as far as contract situation, I expect a lot from him, even with the injuries he dealt with. And I pray he can stay healthy because he's dealing with some serious injuries, especially when you talk about concussions and things of that nature, with everything that we've learned about in the past 10 years about that situation. And hopefully both of them have a great year. And in the next coming year, they can ride off into the sunsets together with some more success on their back.
Sure.
Next, we're gonna chop it up about Daniel Hunter. End up joining the Texans this year. Might have some technical difficulties with Byron, but an elite edge duo with Will Anderson there for the Texans. Great against the pass. Will is great against the pass and the run, but his rookie year, he's more dominant against the run itself. I expect him to be a great veteran mentor, but not just a mentor, a Pro Bowl caliber player there in that Texas defense. The Texans are coming this year, man. I think they have an opportunity to be there competing with the Chiefs, competing with other best teams in the league, the Ravens, and things of that nature. And I expect them to overwhelm their division. Unfortunately, I'm a native Jacksonville resident, so it's going to be tough. And, like we talked about before, I want to see what Trevor Lawrence does in those games, but he's going to be getting touched off that edge by Will and Daniil Hunter. So with me saying that, how do y'all feel about Daniel Hunter?
You want to go, Byron? You want me to go?
Yeah, I'll go real quick. It's gonna be tough being a quarterback or a running back next year for any team that plays. Because Daniil Hunter, like Bart said, Daniil Hunter and Will Anderson coming off the edges. Oh man, it's gonna be very, very scary. Daniil Hunter in his own right, man, has been a wonderful DN in this game. Massive gentleman. Just to be hit by him has to be very, very scary. It's just very, very crazy, man. This year is a mammoth of a beast. 16 sacks last year, 80 something tackles. He just gets out of the quarterback. And now with having a young elite guy and Will Anderson on the other side and him being able to teach him some things, they won't be able to double him. Or Anderson. So it's gonna be very rough to deal with. I'm glad he got paid. Keep continue to get paid your money, man.
Texans signing Daniil Hunter. Daniil Hunter being on this list. He is Mr. Consistent when it comes from a pass rushing, or on the pass rushing side. And him adding that to the Texans defense that already showed and proved themselves last year. It's just going to mean big trouble for opposing teams. This guy, the veteran, been around, knows what he needs to do, goes in, gets the work done, and it shows as he's coming off a 16.5 sack season, like Byron said. Just another one of those guys that kind of doesn't get talked about enough coming as an edge rusher. But I definitely expect big things with him, especially coming over to the Texans. Like I said, with Ryan's. Ryan's, I don't know, I just have a good amount of respect for him as a defensive coach, head coach. And I feel like he can really propel Danielle Hunter into probably another level that Danielle Hunter probably didn't even think that he could hit.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, like Phil said, next level for sure. Like I said, they're not gonna even be able to double them with another elite rusher on the other side. There's so many people you got on that offensive line, man. So it's gonna be very, very tough block.
So next we got a run on Dolphins. So high expectations for the Dolphins this year, but Terron Armstead, obviously when he's retired, he's gonna be in the Saints Ring of Honor or their Saints Hall of Fame. One of the best tackles in the NFL since he came into the league. Dominant pass protector, which is obviously important for any quarterback. The run is ultra important too. But protecting that quarterback, especially Tua, who we know has had some injury history, and we also know that Terron Armstead has had some injuries in his past and things of that nature. But when he's on the field, he's arguably the best tackle in the NFL. Expect a big year for him and that entire Dolphins offense as they lost some pieces. They lost a guard, but they've also picked up some pieces. He's going to be a veteran leader there, and I'm excited to see what the Dolphins do this year.
So, definitely one of those guys that can play either tackle position for the Dolphins, which is a luxury as you can line him up against your best edge rusher, no matter where the guy's rushing from. Another consistent guy playing at always played at an elite level when he was on the field. Only thing that's ever really held him back was injuries. Like you said, protecting the quarterback's the main goal. And I can't remember if Tua got injured last year. Not really sure. I don't think he did. If he did, I don't think it was anything major like concussions or anything like that he dealt with in the past. Which, if you're a Dolphins fan, you're a Tua fan, that's pretty big. As you know, the past 2 seasons, even the season at Alabama, he was significantly injured.
Most definitely an upgrade to the offensive line, something that Tua needed for sure. Mike McDaniels is wonderful, wonderful play calling. Especially in the offensive end. Picking up Armstead is going to be a great asset to keeping the quarterback upright, keeping him able to throw the ball. I mean, he's still a soft arm thrower, but great accuracy. Armstead is definitely going to help him out and being able to contribute right away. Hopefully that quadricep injury that he suffered last season doesn't hinder over to this season, and he can just continue to rack up these Pro Bowls and be elite at his position, moving up 15 spaces from last year. Keep on going up, man.
I think Terron is arguably more important because Tua is left-handed as well. So you got to be extra careful with him due to his his throwing motion or his body angle being different than most other quarterbacks. And I'm trying to remember off the top of my head a left-handed quarterback that won a Super Bowl. I can't think of one off the top of my mind. Obviously, a great one was the great Michael Vick, and a couple other ones in there. But
was Warren Moon a left-handed quarterback?
I don't think so, but I could be wrong.
We have to look that up. We'll look it up and let y'all know for the next episode.
That might be some content that we bring up. Left-hand quarterbacks or like
left-handed
yeah.
players.
Yeah. Some we might cook up some content surrounding something like that, like ambiguous players and things of like Caucasian cornerbacks and things of that nature. But players you don't normally see. But anyways, moving on. Brandon Ayuk currently in the news for a lot of off the. It has to do with on the field stuff, but the business side of the NFL, he's trying to get paid. He's trying to get that bag. Just turned down trades from the Patriots and to the Browns because he doesn't believe in their quarterback situations, which is understandable. but at the same time, I expect another big year for wherever he is, Brandon Ayuk. I believe Khalil and Byron are bigger fans of him than I am, but I do think he is a great receiver in the league. I think he's the best receiver on the 49ers, including Deebo Samuel. And I think he's going to be a great mentor if he's still there to Ricky Pearsall. I expect him to have a dominant year, especially in, again, I love the intermediate levels of the field, but also between the numbers. And then he's a great route runner, and I want to see what he does. How y'all feel about Byron? How you feel about Brandon Ayuk?
Brandon Ayuk, man, wonderful receiver. About 18 yards per catch last year, 1,300 yards, and this is with subpar targets. Due to all the weapons that are on, those trips with the 49ers. I just feel like he definitely showed and proved that he definitely deserves a new contract. He deserves to be paid. NFL is a gladiator sport, man. And if it's time for you to get paid, I feel like there should be no question, especially if you produce. And I would say uh, over produced, from what was expected of you. What is he about his third or fourth year in the league?
I think he's a little bit more long in the tooth than that.
5 years?
Probably
5 years
around
ago?
5, 6,
Yeah,
around there.
yeah.
Five,
Hold on, let me
six.
check that real quick. Want to make sure.
Mm-hmm.
I
Oh,
think,
it's like, yeah, he only been in the league about 4 years.
yeah, this is gonna be his 5th year.
Yep,
Yeah.
came in the league 2020. Um, yeah, very limited receptions, man. 75 receptions and still put over 1,000 yards. Three less receptions than he had last year, and that was another 1,000 yard season. Um, I just feel like he's a wonderful receiver. He definitely should be paid. Great over the top guy. Kind of with the catch, he can definitely get behind a lot of defenders. Great across the field kind of guy. Not many guys want to go across that middle anymore, and he's definitely doing it. And like I said, 18 yards per catch is very valuable in this league. That's over a first down every catch.
Almost
So
two.
yeah, you definitely want those 20 yards per game per catch from a gentleman like him, elite
That led the
receiver.
league, right?
Third,
Second,
oh yeah,
second.
second to let's go down there, CD Lamb,
Ah,
CD Lamb, yeah,
Missed the holdout.
yeah, he's holding out too. He need to get paid. I'm not a fan of the Cowboys, so I mean, hey, but I think he's a great receiver as well down there.
No, Brandon Ayuk gotten statistically better on the receiving yards portion every year he's been in the league. Feel like him kind of being in that 49ers offense is kind of a gift and a curse for him. As him being in that offense, he's not receiving the amount of receptions as an elite level receiver I think should be receiving. I mean, we see what he's doing with the limited receptions that he has. 75 receptions, and you're putting up over 1,300 yards. That's saying something. But it's also a gift because you have to worry about so much on the 49ers offense that Brandon Ayuk can come in and do what he needs to do. Great route runner, great at getting to and exposing the holes in the zone in the defense. Man needs to be paid, plain and simple. And if the 49ers can't, kind of fix the burned bridges, it's going to be a big loss for them. I know they have other receivers and everything, but I definitely take Brandon Ayuk over any receiver right now on their team as he's proven himself. He's still young, still can give you guys those years. Like I said, he is a number one receiver with number one receiver targets. I believe he will be up there with any receiver, if I'm being honest with you.
Definitely.
Next, we have Jordan Poyer. In the long time, again, another guy who I think is going to be in his team's ring of honor for the Buffalo Bills. Still getting it done, I believe, at 35 years age, 34, 35. I want to say 35. Has been great against the pass. I think he forms one of the best safety tandems in the NFL with Javon Holland. And I think he's going to add a couple more. Javon Holland's going to add 1 or 2 more years to Jordan Poyer's career. He's still playing at a Pro Bowl caliber level. Want to see what he does, especially with, one of the GOATs back there, Jalen Ramsey, in that secondary. And he's going to have to help out a lot probably on that other cornerback side right there, especially because the Dolphins like to run a lot of nickel. And again, we're on the run of Dolphins right here. But I want to see what Jordan Poyer does. I'm excited for him and the new surrounding. He's still in the AFC East, a division that's going to be dominated by the Jets. But I want to see what Jordan Poyer does with his new surroundings and more talented teammates. I'm not going to disrespect the Bills, but talented teammates.
No,
Oh,
man,
Go ahead.
He reached 100 yards this year, or 100 tackles, my bad. Just another guy that we can call Mr. Consistent. Great ball hawk. Passing coverage skills have always been elite. And he's going to bring another good, I guess you could say, defensive safety blanket to the DBs, as like Brock said, with their situation on the other side of the cornerback, or their other side of their cornerback situation. He'll be able to kind of, blanket and help them out over there. Just the guy that, with the Bills releasing him, I believe a lot of teams should have been after him. He's been in the game a long time, a mentor, still playing at a high level. And, his IQ for the game, definitely up there at the best. Him and Micah Hyde, when they were with the Bills, were one of the best safety tandems in the league for years. And with him and Javon Holland, I believe it's going to be the same thing that we're seeing.
Oh man, man. When you think of a nice free safety, you think of Jordan Poyer. 6 feet, almost 200 pounds. Been in the league 12 years and just been dominant every year. Like Chalil said, wonderful, one of the best safety tandems at the Bills prior years. Moving on to the Dolphins now. With Brock's guy, FSU guy, Jalen Ramsey, and that secondary defense. He's just gonna continue to be elite. 33 years old. Hopefully, saying he can end his career on a high note and just keep his ball hawking skills up, keep his hard hitting up, and just flying all over the field. Except when they play the Jets.
For sure. For sure. Next.
I mean, butter.
You got Patrick Queen, linebacker for the Steelers, coming over from the Ravens, which, Steelers and Ravens, we usually don't see that crossover like that, being division rivals. Probably the biggest rivalry in the NFL, to be honest, with the Steelers and Ravens. But again, at the end of the day, I think Patrick Queen's another Pro Bowl caliber player for the Steelers. Gonna learn a lot from TJ Watt, kind of getting a chance to well, he's not getting out of scheme because they kind of play similar schemes in that 3-4 type situation. Obviously, both are going to have dominant defense between those two teams. And Patrick Queen, he can slide into his natural role, doesn't have to change up much, has great eyes, great against the run. He's going to be good against the pass. Supreme athlete coming out of that LSU defense. And I expect a lot for Patrick Queen this year to get up into that all-pro range level of linebacker for that defense, especially with Pro Bowlers in front of him and Pro Bowlers behind him. So, and yeah, how you feel about Patrick Queen,
Well, before last year, kind of didn't know what to think about him as he had a couple mediocre type seasons with the Ravens. Last year was his breakout year for. Dude was an absolute monster on absolute tear. He pretty much came out and played and showed that he can play with the best when he needed to, as he won and got a contract with the Steelers. Going to be part of another great defense, which I feel he'll benefit from. Just a tackling machine. Definitely he can get in the gaps, stuff the run. But besides that, he can play in pass coverage, and like we say, longevity is key when it comes to NFL and not being injury prone. He hasn't missed a game in his 4-year career. So
Almost definitely 67 straight games is ridiculous. Patrick Queen, young fella, about 24, 25 years old, motor high, just continue to get better and better. Like Khalil said, a couple, I wouldn't say subpar seasons. I would say, learning the league. He's learning the league season, and I feel like he figured out something clicked for him last year in 2023. And he just put a lot of it together. Obviously, I feel like he's young, so he has a couple more notches to hit to get a little bit better and better. Moving from a wonderful defense out in Baltimore Ravens to another wonderful defense in the Steelers is God sent. It's a heaven sent for him. Basically, I don't think it's going to be anything different. Pretty much the same type of team. And we don't care about none of that stardom stuff. Sorry about that. We don't care about none of that stardom stuff. We here to put feet the grass and sweat the skin out here blood to blood. And that we move from one team that does that to another team that does that. So it fits him wonderful, and he is going to continue to grow. I would definitely love to see those sacks push up a little bit more, like Brodrick said, learning from one of the sack gods and TJ Watt, sorry, another all white brother who out there be doing his thing, and continue to grow, man. Just become one of these elite linebackers in the game that people fear, like Warren.
probably the leader of the all-white team, TJ Watt there. But
yeah,
Uh,
Max Crosby's not
Kelsey
considered.
might be up there. Kelsey might be up there as the leader.
Max Crosby's not considered white. I want that to be let out right now.
Hey, that boy smoked the blunt on live TV.
Yeah, that boy not considered white, man.
To smoke a blunt on live TV is wild. It's wild.
continuing our run on Dolphins. Let us know if y'all want that all-white team too. It's a fun concept.
You got a lot of guys out here. You got a lot of all white guys out here. We do a lot.
More than what I think the average person would think.
Right.
Jalen Waddle, wide receiver for the Miami Dolphins. Obviously, his stats dulled a little bit with Tariq there and a couple other guys that we talked about already and that we're going to talk about next. But great route runner coming from that Bama pipeline. Of smaller stature, but does well to get open. Does one of the best wide receivers in the NFL after the catch. Great deep threat. All around solid number 2 receiver, if not up there in the top 5 number 2 receivers in the NFL. I expect a huge year from him with defenses they already focus everything they can on Tariq. He's just incredible. Obviously, Tariq, this is not a spoiler alert, but maybe it is, ranked number one player in the NFL this year in general. So
Crazy.
at the end of the day, you're the number one player. You're going to catch a lot of the coverage. And if he wasn't the number one player, you still have to provide blanket coverage when it comes to Tariq Hill. And Jalen does well getting open with that extra attention that Tariq and the other weapons for the Miami Dolphins receive. Tua, I think he's going to look for him more this year. I expect a huge year from Jalen Waddle. Byron, how you feel about his year, Michael?
Another wonderful year, man. Consistent guy in his 3 seasons, 1,000 yards. I mean, to have your number one receiver be Tyree Hill is heaven sent, and you have similar speed to that guy is ridiculous. I mean, showed him the money. That boy got paid 85 million. I think he's well deserved. He's just gonna keep getting better and better in this game. When he can take a lot of that speed and turn it into more skill, it's gonna be very, very scary to see. Um, but hey, man, continue to get better in this game. You dropped 19 spots in this, but that's probably due to your new running mate taking up a lot of the yards this year and trying to go for 2,000. I think he had about 1,700, which is ridiculous. But hey, keep doing your thing, young gentleman. 25 years old, and hey, living it up down there in Miami.
Sure. Another great young receiver who's going to benefit from Tyreek Hill being Tyreek Hill. As Tyreek Hill has shown, there's no way you can cover him, no matter what you send at him.
Unless you're
With
the
all
Chiefs.
that,
Yeah.
hey, I mean, but they had a chip on their shoulder.
Thanks.
But no, Jalen Waddle. Only thing that really kind of worries me is his small frame. He has been injured a little bit. But when he's on the field, even though I want to say in a good amount of games, even though he is the number 2 receiver on his team, um, he is the number 2 receiver in that game as well, if that makes sense. He is that good. I expect him to have a great year. Like you said, I expect Tua to be looking at him more as defenses kind of start to adjust to trying to stop Tyreek Hill. Very good at getting over the top, breaking off of his routes, great speed, like you said, elite speeds up there with everybody. And with the speed and the route running or the great route running that he has, he shows that he's not just, a one-dimensional receiver that will just run streaks and everything. Like I said, I expect a great year from him, especially since he just got paid.
Our next guy, another Dolphin, Bradley Chubb, dominant against run, great pass rusher as well. I think he took some time to get adjusted coming over from the Broncos, but I expect him to have a fearsome year for the Dolphins. Getting back healthy as well, it's going to be big for him, fully healthy and 100%. But love what I see from an outside linebacker's perspective from Bradley Chubb. Khalil, how you feel about Bradley?
Outside linebackers in general for the Dolphins, when they get back healthy, are going to be a problem. To have, Jalen Phillips suffer that season-ending injury, Bradley Chubb to suffer that season-ending injury, it's just kind of crazy. That just shows the craziness that was going around in the league. But Bradley Chubb, just another elite edge rusher, good at stopping the run, good at disrupting passes. He had 11 sacks, didn't even have a full season. And like I said, I just feel like it's just going to be a little learning period to kind of see or get that feeling and comfortability of pushing himself to be elite again, coming off of that injury. But once everything clicks back up for him, I expect him to just be an absolute monster off that edge again.
Most definitely, man. Best wishes to you after that ACL tear. But still led the league in forced fumbles, getting after the ball. He's next to none in this league with doing that as being an outside linebacker, edge rusher, quote unquote. 11 sacks, like Khalil said, is still being able to be dominant and not being able to play a full season. Um, it just shows you, man. Like Brodrick said, you were getting into the flow of learning the Dolphins system, being able to play more freely now without having to worry about, you thinking you're making a mistake. You're a veteran in this game, obviously, a wonderful, wonderful player. And just athletic, just running your family, man. Nick Chubb being your cousin, you guys are just dominant, dominant family dream, man. Just get healthy with this ACL tear and keep continue to do your thing. As long as it ain't just a dip.
Sure. Our last two guys here. Our first one is Justin Matabuki. Something crazy just went off in my head. But
I'm crying.
great great interior defensive lineman for the Ravens. Last year was truly a breakout year for him. It shows when you give players time to develop, especially at those more physical positions. NFL in the trenches is everybody's an elite athlete. It's about the technique. It took him a while to learn the technique. He learned the defense, and last year he showed up as one of the best interior defensive linemen in all of the NFL. I say he had a top five season as an interior defensive lineman last year. And I expect big things from him this year. Patrick Queen isn't back there, but we know that Ravens draft well and they develop well. So I still expect a lot from him this year. And yeah, I don't want to put a number on his production. This year, I expect him to be dominant against the run. I expect somewhere around near double-digit sacks and to be dominant against the run. I think that's what the Steelers are going to Steelers. That's what the Ravens are going to need this year, as they got last year, especially with him getting paid. We'll start with you, Byron. How you feel about my guy Justin?
Again, show me the money.
Mm-hmm.
98 million. Definitely deserves, like Broderick said, give these guys time to develop. I mean, obviously, man, it's just NFL. These are the best, most physical gentlemen in the world. The best of the best. This is the highest level. And not everybody's going to come in right away and dominate. So, gentleman came into his third season now. He just showed and proved that, like Bobby said, with the development staff of the Baltimore Ravens, it showed 13 sacks, getting after the quarterback 33 times. It's that's next level right there, man. He's just putting hell on these quarterbacks, and to continue to do that coming into your fourth season, I feel like you definitely put up similar to even better numbers. The stats can be around the same, but those pressures have to continue to be at those numbers that they're getting and getting your hands on these QBs, especially with being almost paid 100 mil. I'm pretty sure it's probably 100 mil somewhere with some incentives and off the under the table kind of money that you're gonna be getting. But hey, continue to be dominant, Justin. I wasn't really watching too much of the trenches. I'm more of a secondary guy, watching those guys like Humphrey. But down those trenches, man, is just brutal. And you're doing a lot of the thumping and continue to do that, brother.
No, for sure. Definitely proved that he's an elite D tackle. He's going to come into the league this season, or not into the league, but he's going to come into the season being probably a top 8, top 10 D tackle, according to what happened last year. I feel like he can keep that pace. This year 4 breakout that he had kind of reminds me of like the year 4 breakout that Dexter Lawrence had, where he just kind of caught the league by storm, kind of just started disrupting everything. I feel personally, and I'm a Giants fan, that this year 4 breakout was way better than Dexter Lawrence's year 4 breakout. Just because it also came at the time where the Ravens needed it. People were kind of not knowing how the Ravens defense were going to perform. And the Ravens defense is a big part of why they're so good and elite at what they, or so good and up there with the elites. He's just that anchor of the defense now. Like I said, hard work's paying off. and like I said, I expect big things to come for him. Just to probably even get better. Maybe the sacks might drop down a little bit as he'll probably be facing some double teams and stuff. But I believe everything else should at least stay the same as far as defensive pressures and stopping the run.
Sure. Our final guy we're going to talk about tonight, we've made it through. Hope y'all enjoyed the episode. We've had a lot of fun here. Especially, I hope y'all enjoying the content, all the facts and thoughts we're bringing about these players. I'm going to chop these up to short so y'all could get it out and see it more often. And I'm going to put that responsibility on myself. The last guy we're going to talk about here is Raheem Mostert. Elite running back, in my opinion, the fastest running back in the entire NFL in that track team that is the Miami Dolphins. Apparently, dominant team that the Dolphins are going to be this year, along with a lot of the other weapons that they have, including offensive line, defensive line, secondary. The Dolphins everywhere on this list, and I expect Raheem to fit right in. Gonna have to hold off the young cat Devin A. Chain, who's I said Raheem might be the fastest running back. He could be the fastest running back in the NFL. Both of those guys are track stars, and I'm excited to see what that Dolphins offense is going to do this year. Even if they in the division with my guys, when we not playing them, I want to see them have success as a South Floridian. I want to see them have success, but not when they play the Jets. Please don't. But anyways, shout out Raheem Mostert. I think he's going to have a big year and a very complimentary year as he's getting long in the tooth and he could gradually see that number one role to A-Chain. It's good to see him still on this list, and I expect him to have around probably close to 1,000-yard season again, but be more of a factor in the passing game. How you feel about him, Byron?
He's track team for real. Hard to keep up, man. You can't really load the box. Got to deal with Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle. Just speed all over this offensive field. Like you said, A-Can. This man led the league in rushing touchdowns and total touchdowns. He's a problem out of the backfield and out in the passing game. You just really don't know what you want from like gonna get from him. I mean, this guy's 31 years old and still super productive. Had a wonderful team down there in Miami. It's a great asset to Tua being able to have that kind of running game behind him over 1,000 yards. Just love to see what he does with at 32, man.
Nah, for sure. To have a breakout year at the age of 31 in the league is insane. But that just shows the type of player he is, the commitment that he shows to the game. And it looks like he finally found the right team for him. As me personally watching, if there wasn't a game where Raheem Mostert scored a touchdown last year, I knew there was something going on. Like there was something wrong with the Dolphins and how they were playing.
That boy was a fantasy. He was a fantasy dynamo. If you play fantasy football and you had him, that was a guaranteed hit damn near every week. But I digress. My bad.
No, you're good. He probably, in my opinion, maybe to some people he wasn't up there for one of the best running backs in the league. As far as to me, he was up there top two as most impactful cornerbacks between him and CMC last year. Just like I said, 1,000 rushing yards, 18 touchdowns on the ground. I'm not even, and I don't know what he had as far as receiving and everything, but I know that was another big chunk. Just finding the end zone, kind of making it easier for Tua, on the receiving end of the game, and just taking advantage of what he was given. It never seemed like he was trying to do too much or anything like that. And speed kills with the type of speed that he has. All he needs is that little sliver, and he's gone. But also he showed that he can be a goal line back with all the touchdowns that he was scoring in the red zone. So shout out to him for real.
All right, rounding it out. The next episode will be 59 through 40. It's been good. we probably finna join the Discord because we probably finna get on that NCAA 25.
Yeah.
But y'all like the video, comment on the video, subscribe to the channel. Might have a couple people returning. Got some new people who never been on the channel. We're gonna have coming up in these next coming weeks. Got a few things to talk about as we get back around to it. Olympics just ended. We'll discuss some certain things, well, not certain things, but a few things about that, our thoughts. But when it comes to this video, if you're a fan of these teams and these players, get in the comments. Let us know how y'all feel about these players and about these teams and what you expect out of their performances this year. Anything y'all
Nah,
brothers
most,
want to say?
most definitely, man. If y'all a fan of sports in general, man, just show that love, man. We do this for y'all. We do it for ourselves because one, we love sports. We play sports, all three of us. We just do it for y'all. If y'all a big fan of sports, just keep showing the love, man. It don't cost nothing. It's all free. You watching the video, you might as well show the love. Show the love. Put it in the comments. Let us know what we need to be doing a little bit different if there's anything, and let us know what y'all want to hear. Definitely, just keep us updated. We're gonna keep updated with y'all on all sports topics and culture topics.
For sure. No. And we take suggestions. We're open to anything, whether if there's anything you think we could do better, let us know. We try to put out the best content that we possibly can for you guys. Or even if you want to try to get on the show, chop it up with us. We'd be open to that as well. So, just like, comment, subscribe, interact with us, man. We're not a-holes. We're friendly, always down to have conversation and everything.
Definitely.
Sure.